Good afternoon. I'm Michael Rack, aka Rack Attack, and thank you for having me today. Well, basically, this all started a hell of a long time ago. Back in the 70s, I was learning to code, self-taught coder, on a ZX81, moving on to the BBC B Micro. As a child, I had a very unsettled childhood before that, a very strict, unstable father, lived on 3 continents by the age of 10. By the age of 17 different homes by the age of 10. We moved around a lot. One thing that a lot of people don't know about me, I'm the son of a Barnsley milkmaid. My parents got married. My dad was from Essex, my mum was from Barnsley. Their first home together was in Leeds back in 1969. I've been a victim of life. I've retracted from life. Back in the childhood, I was bullied. I was never really fitted in. Computers came around. We got one at home. I fell into it. It was great. Learning to code on the ZX81 to start with, then onto the BBC. It was all, entering code manually. We were copying code games from magazines back in those days. It wasn't even on tape. So it was each keystroke. It wasn't the Spectrum where you had the words, or you had to, so manually putting these things in, manually I learned how to code. Next thing I was getting bored of coding, getting bored of the games. I'd break into them. I'd find out how to get them to crash. That way you got access to a command line. From doing that, you then had to work through the obfuscated code. They had all sorts of trickery in there. So all these sort of things were very interesting. At school, I wrote a random access database for a stock management system for a local hardware store at 15. For high-speed searching, automation triggers, all sorts of things. However, without the chance to do a degree, just due to an unstable childhood and struggling with the formalised education system and life in general, I went to work and, no degree, went out and, got into sales, ended up in a state agency, ended up through high vacuum engineering, and the networking market started to go off and started to grow. Applied for roles, wasn't technical enough. The guy who had been coding before, who had got some sales experience as well, social engineering, without a product and a brand behind him, apparently wasn't good enough to get into a technical sales role. Basically, by doing that, I was putting deals together, learning to build trust between two parties, sitting between, ultimately getting things to move quickly, getting things to action without putting things into the post, and creating delay and creating chance for competition to get in. It was a social engineering skill. Apparently, I didn't realise that. These are all things I'm learning now, things I've had and done for years. I'm learning what they mean and what they fit into. So yes, sorry. And back in those days, so anyway, I fought my way in. I went into IT recruitment, placing workshop engineers within, 18 months. I placed the IT director for the largest Apple dealer in the southeast. They didn't take the first guy turned the job down. They couldn't find anyone. The first guy turned the job down. Second guy took me. So 2 candidates, perfect. From understanding the role and understanding the detail and not being the shiny person who just puts things together on one placement, one thing together. I also helped build a company called Ideal Hardware, or Bell Micro's first security sales team, became Avnet. The little white hat hacker kiddie that I put into their pre-sales role, a guy called Harry Buller. He's now, I think, VP Asia Pacific at Fireman or Checkmark or whatever. He's done exceptionally well. I fought my way from there into a Cisco Premier partner. Our RMD had built ISP networks. Our technical director had been the youngest CCI at the time. So whilst we're working with Cisco and we're a Premier partner, actually it was about creating solution deals rather than just flogging products, because then we were just one of many, many partners. From there, I pivoted and elevated into Computer Centre, running the north of England's revenue of £6 million 20 odd years ago. Fixing a £1 million GE Capital Finance deal with their token ring to Ethernet migration program, Project Zendor. So I've been around a long time. I've been introducing technology solutions that are fitted. I worked with BugCrowd back in, about 10 years ago, securing their first enterprise client in region, proving the value of continuous testing, but also crowdsourced. So, and also back in 1994, as part of my journey when I started in recruitment, I also put myself on an evening class on networking fundamentals. Not many recruiters do that, not many salespeople do it now. So again, we've got a lot of people in the industry that are, it's just a job now. So, from there, we now pivot. I'd had a very traumatic time probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Effectively been homeless for 6 months, living on a shell of a boat, no toilet, no running water, no heating, moored next to a Tesco's. So, that was it. I was interviewing on the phone. I had a dongle on my laptop. I was interviewing with vendors in America, remotely on the back of this rundown boat. I managed to dig myself out of that and get myself an apartment, benefit level apartment, and COVID kicked in. I'd been working on a building site. I'm a worker. I get on with stuff. On a big building site, no tickets, no certifications. I'm now running a team of labourers because, again, lots of guys with certificates, not actually doing anything. So I'm a worker. I get on with things. I dig into things. We got locked down. During the lockdown period, I got heavily back into my gaming, online gaming, got into Twitter, posting content. And I remembered back in Bug Crowd, I heard about this big cyber community on Twitter. Casey Ellis had told me about it, and, I hadn't really got around to digging into it properly because unfortunately VCs changed direction after, about 8 months. Anyway, I found these people. I found people I knew. I found Jason Haddix, who I'd worked with before. And off the back of that, I connected with other people. And I found all this content online. I found this guy called Tiberius. I think he might be here today, actually. John Hammonds. People like that. So again, I was sitting up in the middle of the night, listening to coding sessions, listening to detail. It was immersion through learning, through absorption. Started Apex Porn, a gaming channel, learned to create media, learned to build a group, 1,500 odd followers from zero, built it from scratch. How do you get your first connection? How do you get your 10th connection? Learning to, get momentum behind things. But yes, on the back of that, so after that, we came out of lockdown, and I met this kiddie a graduate from Leicester University at InfoSec. He was a TryHackingMy top 1%er. Actually, hang on a second, that's still, sorry. This is where I got interested. Dan Conn, I wanted to create this Twitter retweet bot. He said, learn, in Python, use an EMV. First lesson. Run it at a VM as well. I'm trying to work out how to run a VM. Such simple things to other people weren't to people that didn't know how to do it, who'd done it before, and it all changed heavily. Fell into Stuck. Bug Bounty Thursdays. Awesome. Stu Hurst telling me things like, or saying, it's all just code. All this became clearer as I moved forward. I interviewed with Just Eat for a cybersecurity awareness role. Unfortunately, didn't get the job. They're a FTSE 100. They went with someone more senior. The fact that Kev Fielder interviewed me, he's now at NatWest Metal as their CISO. Stu Hurst supported me on the way in because of the work and the energy and focus I was putting into this. Energy, enthusiasm, drive will get people on your side. They'll make people see that you're interested and you're serious. So yes, on the back of that, then it was actually DTX BeerCon with Ian Thornton Trump and a whole bunch of other people. Spent the day there listening to all sorts of talks in this subcorner of this big event. Far more interesting, far more fun. And yes, that was where I met, the Cyber House Party afterwards at this top 1%er. Deaf Mute Kitty blew me away. The resilience. I'm sitting there thinking, I've got a hard time with my autism and ADHD, which I'm now starting to realise I've got. And, sorry, there's always somebody that's got other things, other challenges. So, but as somebody that wanted to learn, someone that really had been trying to get back hands on for so long, but hadn't had the tools and availability or wasn't aware of them, discovering things like Hack the Box and TryHackMy blew me away. So yeah, on the back of that, I went deep. I did everything. I recovered the network fundamentals I'd done in 1994. I didn't go in there and say, I know all this already, let me just jump into the deep end. Fundamentals and foundations are so important. You cannot build on a weak foundation. So yes, having done all of these things, quite interestingly actually, the junior pen tester role, certification with TryHackingMy, which was 20 odd hours, 25 hours, is now 98. They've released a new course. When I was doing the Pen Test Plus, I was sitting there going, this seems to have missed a lot. That explains it. So I've done a lot, but there's still lots. But yes, it's covering OT, it's covering fundamentals, it's covering lots of distance, lots of different areas. So from, MITRE ATT&CK and Metasploit. Back in 1994, I knew the difference between SNTP and SNMP back then. So again, understanding detail, understanding what it aligns with, understanding SCADA, understanding that, with OT, safety is first. Apparently a lot of people don't know that now still. I was interviewed recently for a critical infrastructure role with a Big Four. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but that was one of the questions. And they said, so many people get that wrong. You didn't. So again, understanding what the risks are, understanding what you're doing, how it aligns. So yes, covered breadth, covered depth. I've done exploits, and I've done the basic walkthroughs as well. I haven't rushed it, but I have gone, wide and deep. Everything I was learning required me to learn something else. Everything I looked up required me to look up what that was. I had so many of my friends here that are running this today were giving me advice. However, things get better. I got a new job with some black hat trainers who were building an automated pen testing platform. Basically got told you can't automate a pen test. This was pre-ChatGPT. So yes. So yes, here we go. So let's cut the chase in. Last year, met lots of people, went to White Hat Ball, got invited by an ex-defence contractor, CISO, attended B-Sides Basingstoke, the 1000th B-Sides. Vic, you're awesome. Went to B-Sides Bristol, and yes, I've been immersing, been learning, been listening. There's acronyms, there's terminology, but again, I've come from the high level positioning technology solutions on a nuanced basis, but yes, understanding it from the bottom up in more detail. I remember my mate Raf did an excellent talk a couple of years ago at B-Sides Basingstoke, again, not super technical, but it was about human honeypots, having, employees on LinkedIn that aren't real. People are an attack vector. If somebody's approaching your staff, trying to headhunt them or trying to get information, so again, thinking at a different level, it is technology, but people are the access routes. Technology is there to support people. We did business before IT. IT has come along to do stuff. So yes, understanding that actually it's in place to support people and to support business and to support operations and organisations, requires a certain amount of, thinking beyond the IT element of it. I've been joining online sessions. I've been going to OWASP London. I've been listening to Gary Evron on the team, the guys over at GTFO, Prompt GTFO. He's now got Gnostic, who are doing AI, agentic, security. Didn't realise his pedigree until recently. He's an very deep hacker. So yes, but basically, been learning from people, been learning from Ian, been learning from Sam and Dave. Dave McKenzie has been absolutely outstanding, very supportive, has become dear friends. I'm getting so much support, it's unbelievable. I've been interviewing with defence contractors for 2 different roles. They came to me, They saw my profile. They saw the work I was putting in, the level of work I was putting in. And again, what I'm hearing from the defence contractor, SOC manager, who's ex-MOD, is a lot of kids are still just turning up and just doing the triage and the basic low-level stuff. It's another job now. It's another career path. Cybersecurity is a risk management situation involving people, process, and technology, in my opinion. It's not just IT. It's putting it in the right way, focusing on the right things, and that's done by people. People are the special part. You know, Jonathan Cran, again, an ex-bug crowder, one of the gods there, recently launched Mallory, a native AI platform. Only last month, he was giving me coaching and support back at Christmas time. He'd offered help 2 years ago. I'd banked it. Don't waste good stuff. Use it. Don't waste it. But know who to go to for what. You know, information, intel, it's different levels of quality. Same with people. Different people are good for different advice on different things. A lot of people will give you advice on anything. Take advice from people that know. Even in cyber, you've got your red team leaders, you've got your threat intel. There's different skill sets. It's not one big subject. Yeah. So, on the back of that, yeah, this has been an interesting year. Finally met Tiberius. I had lunch with Jason E. Street about a month ago. I met Katie Mazzuri again for the second time, 10 years later. Again, listening to the mentality, listening to the drive. Katie was saying again, back in the 90s, the OG hackers, they were hacking each other. They were trying to get each other 0 days off each other. They were doing it for sport. It was competition. That's how they got better. It wasn't just turning up and doing a job and going home. So again, it's about gamifying your learning, gamifying your studies, gamifying your efforts. People will support those people putting the work in. Getting help is people giving you a nudge and giving you a point in the right direction, not doing it for you. You learn most by doing it yourself. You learn by making mistakes and working out what went wrong. The amount I've learned by breaking stuff or doing it wrong and then re-engineering it later is ridiculous. But yes, so, yeah, all I can say is take advice from the right people. Do take advice. People will help you. But yes, again, the amount of work you put in shows character. People buy into character. Yeah, asking for help all the time, not doing a lot, doing stuff you find easy already doesn't prove anything. And that's my story. Have a great day. Be awesome to each other.